Every summer, the world's digital windows are flooded with the same image. A blinding white labyrinth hanging over a deep, sapphire sea. This is Santorini, the crown jewel of global tourism. It is marketed as the ultimate romantic escape, a place where time stands still. But look closer at the crowds in Ia, shoulder to shoulder, holding their breath for a 3-second sunset. They are standing on the edge of a grave. Not a metaphorical one, but a literal, geological void created by the most violent explosion in human history. The beauty you see is a scar. And like all scars, it tells a story of trauma that isn't over yet. To the casual visitor, the volcano is that dark island in the middle, Nea Kameni. A tourist attraction for a quick hike and a dip in warm springs. This is the first lie of the Instagram fairy tale. Nea Kameni is merely a pimple on the face of a giant. The real volcano is the entire archipelago. Scientists categorize Santorini as a decade volcano, one of the 16 most dangerous in the world. When the Minoan eruption occurred 3,600 years ago, it didn't just erupt. It collapsed. The earth fell into the magma chamber, creating this 400-meter-deep abyss we call the caldera. If a similar event happened today, the energy released would be equivalent to hundreds of Hiroshima bombs. It wouldn't just affect the Aegean, it would inject enough sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere to dim the sun. Global temperatures would drop. Agriculture would fail in the Midwest. This is not a Greek problem. It is a planetary weapon, currently in its recharging phase. To understand the threat, you have to understand that Santorini is a geological anomaly. It is one of the very few volcanoes on Earth capable of a terrifying cycle, self-destruction and rebirth. Scientists call this caldera cycles. After a massive eruption, the volcano doesn't just go dormant, it begins to rebuild itself from its own ruins. Slowly, through the millennia, the magma chamber refills, pushing the seafloor upward, creating new islands like Nea Kameni. It builds a mountain just so it can blow it apart again. We are currently living in the middle of a cycle, watching a giant reconstruct its weapon for the next strike. But why do we call the Minoan eruption the most violent in human history, even if others were larger in volume? The answer lies in the lethal physics of the Mediterranean. Most volcanoes release pressure through lava or ash. Santorini does something far more explosive. Because it sits in the sea, the moment the caldera walls fail, billions of tons of seawater rush into the magma chamber. The result is a phreatomagmatic explosion, a cataclysmic reaction between fire and water that turns the entire island into a giant steam bomb. It wasn't just an eruption, it was a physical tearing of the Earth's crust. It generated pyroclastic flows, avalanches of 800 degrees Celsius gas, that traveled across the surface of the sea, reaching other islands. This combination of global climate cooling and localized tsunamis makes it the most effective killer the ancient world ever saw. While millions of eyes are fixed on the caldera, the real threat might be lurking where no one is looking. 7 kilometers northeast of the island, hidden 500 meters under the waves, lies Kolumbo. It is a submarine volcano, and it is angry. In 1650, Kolumbo broke the surface, killing 70 people on Santorini, not with lava, but with toxic gases and a localized tsunami. Today, state-of-the-art sensors detect a growing magma chamber. Because it is underwater, its danger is multiplied. If Kolumbo erupts, the interaction between red-hot magma and cold seawater creates a fuel-coolant interaction, a steam explosion of unimaginable scale. The resulting tsunami would hit the shores of Santorini in minutes. In a place where luxury villas are perched on fragile volcanic cliffs, there is nowhere to run but up, and the cliffs are crumbling. This is where the dream becomes a trap. Santorini's urban planning was never meant for this. Over-tourism has turned the island into a congested urban sprawl on a vertical axis. Look at the logistics. In peak season, the island's population swells from 15,000 to over 150,000. All of them are funneled through a single, narrow main road. There is only one commercial port, Athenios, accessible by a zigzagging road carved into a vertical cliff, a cliff prone to landslides. If an evacuation order were given today, the result would be a catastrophe. Thousands of rental cars, tour buses, and panicked crowds would collide in a gridlock of historic proportions. The very luxury that defines the island, the isolation, the cliff's edge living, has created a labyrinth with no exits. We have built a paradise that is structurally incapable of surviving its own reality. We are living in a narrow window of false stability. The Instagrammable Santorini we celebrate is a temporary fluke of history, a brief pause in a cycle of violence that has lasted for millions of years. The volcano does not care about luxury brands, real estate value, or tourism revenue. It operates on a clock of millennia, and that clock is ticking. Santorini is one of the few places on Earth that possesses the terrifying power to self-destruct and rebuild itself from its own ashes. It builds its beauty just to blow it apart again. As the sun dips below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of gold and violet, the lights of the villas flicker on like embers in the dark. We continue to dance on the lid of a pressure cooker, blinded by the beauty of the steam, ignoring the phreatomagmatic bomb beneath our feet. The question isn't whether the fairy tale will end. The question is whether we will have the courage to acknowledge the beast before it decides to wake up. For now, the sunset is breathtaking. But the clock is ticking.